So these are just my thoughts on Fallout 4 sneaking around versus first-person shooter perspective. What I found is that running around as a first-person shooter is fine, but when you find the amount of ammo that you go through and how rare ammunition actually is, and always picking up the wrong type of ammunition for your particular gun, even if you've got dog meat looking for you, and finding some ammo, playing it like a first-person shooter, you'll run out of ammo very quickly and very often. And then they're not always that effective. This is without using the accuracy, the built-in VATS system. This is just play it as a first-person shooter, put the cursor on the target, empty your magazine, and you do tend to go through an awful lot of ammo, especially when you're panicked, especially when you're rushing them. You may find some ammo on them. You may do a bad pull like this, try and take out a couple of ghouls and end up with about 20 of them on you, and you just hope that you can keep firing and reload fast enough. This is not ideal. So for me, I play this like Splinter Cell now. I sneak, I do headshots, I stick to the shadows, and I conserve ammo. And the way I'm playing at the moment, I actually find more ammo than I expend. Sometimes if you try and play as a first-person shooter, you encounter something like a super mutant who you can just continue hitting like this, and you just don't seem to do any damage at all. In fact, the only damage he did was, or I managed to do there, was pretty much when he blew himself up. So most of these are actually on target, but I just wasted a lot of ammo, and prod dog meat was the result. So sneaking is the best way to go for me, and I'm going to do a short video telling you what you need to do to sneak. Sometimes, especially like this, you're entering to an area that looks dangerous, you don't know what's going on, you really don't have enough ammo to play it like a first-person shooter, or what you need to do is sneak around, try and figure out what's going on. There's a skill, can't remember what it is, that allows you, I think it's called Black Widow, allows you to pacify the opposition. So even if you've got zero ammo, and I've done this with an empty gun before when I've been desperate, is you can pacify the enemy, get them to surrender, and then continue the mission until you find some ammunition. Chances are you can pick his pocket as well and take some ammunition off him. But otherwise, stick to sneaking. Use the left shift key and learn to sneak. Obviously the most important attribute for sneaking is agility, one of your special skills. You can have up to 10 ranks. Not only that, it determines the number of action points you've got, so I would advise definitely ranking up your agility. However, there's also a sneak perk. Now, sneak perk is ranked 1 to 5, and the first 4 ranks make it harder to be detected. So 20% harder at rank 1, 30% harder at rank 2, up to 50% at rank 4. Once you get rank 5, you need to be level 38 to unlock this. When you go into sneak engagement, in other words crouch, you can lose the enemy. They could be engaging you, you can crouch as long as you've got rank 5, and they will tend to give up. In fact, you'll see at the top where it says hidden, you'll see that slowly change from detected to hidden again. Once you're hidden, you can go. Now, of course, there are also some armour mods that help for sneaking. There are 2 mods you can do. One is called Shadows, which improves stealth in the dark areas. You need to be armour rank 2 for this. And the second mod, which unfortunately only seems to be available for the legs, is called muffled. So on the legs you can be both shadowed and muffled, and you can have an additional mod in the helmet, chest and arms if you can't get muffled. Muffled allows you to move, so yeah, reduces detection from moving. And of course there's also a legendary mod called Chameleon, and these drop from legendary gunners, I don't think since maybe some raiders, and this allows you to turn invisible, go into full stealth mode. If you're sneaking and standing still, then you actually go invisible. Now one of the benefits of engaging while you're sneaked or in stealth mode is there's a ninja perk under the agility tree that actually allows you to do 2.5, 3 times and 3.5 times your normal gun damage when you're crouched or when you're in stealth mode. Now here I'm getting 3.9 times the amount of base damage for a headshot on a 44. That's a lot of damage, that's about 800 damage. 750 actually, I think. Or you can use a suppressor, and using a suppressor there's the Mr. Sandman perk that can give you up to an extra 50% yet again. So if you're sneaking with a suppressed weapon, you can get in a massive 5-6 times damage, clearing the room one guy at a time because you're quiet, muffled, and they don't even know you're there until you hit them. Now this is my go-to gun, the 10mm suppressed pistol. Has a base damage of 71. Sneak attack with a suppressor will put that up to just under 800 points of damage. And 10mm armour is, 10mm rounds, one of the most common types of ammo you tend to find, particularly in military roadblocks and military buildings. And of course I've silenced my rifle as well, so even the mighty Deathclaw gets 5.9 times damage, and I can normally one headshot. Okay, this is probably much lower level than me, but still. One shot to the head, he's down. Oh please, give that Deathclaw an Oscar. And best of all, the Deathclaw steak, once you cook it up, it gives you an extra agility point for an hour. And this is the way I like to play. Suppressed, long range. I've got stabilized arms, by the way, which is why it's not shaking all over the place. That's an armour mod as well you might want to add if you do this particular style of play. Silenced rifle from a couple of 100 meters away. You do a headshot or a couple of rounds into them without ever being in danger.